Stephen Rochford makes 2 late changes to his Mayo team. David Drake and Jason Doherty, because of injury, are not starting tonight. Conor O'Shea comes in at wing forward and Evan Regan begins at corner forward. Diarmuid O'Connor moves out to midfield. After 2 defeats on the bounce, Kevin McStay has added David Murray to his defence and Tom Corcoran to the attack. They've made some positional switches too, with Sean Mullooly now at full-back and the very experienced Shawnee McDermott moving out to centre half-back. And there's a huge crowd at Elvery's McHale Park in Castlebar. Enda Smith, he's taking this on. It's going to tail away. And Tom Corcoran, the big man at full forward, was in under it. Now it comes back to Shane Killoran. And what about that? Roscommon take the lead.
Yeah, both teams have changed things up from the last game. There, you know, Enda Smith is playing wing forward, where he did a hell of a lot of damage against Donegal on the edge of the square.
Cillian O'Connor. Well, slick handling. Diarmuid O'Connor involved now, and then it goes forward to Conor O'Shea, and the shot in the end from Fergal Boland is a beauty.
Yeah, with fantastic score by Fergal. Again, Mayo getting a lot of joy around the middle of the field. You know, the likes of Conor O'Shea and Diarmuid O'Connor, you know, they're winning a lot of breaking ball and setting up chances for the likes of Fergal Boland. You know, fantastic effort there.
Jason Gibbons. A great handling again from Mayo, and they've got Fergal Boland through. There's his second point this evening. And he is making a name for himself in the Mayo colours.
Fantastic score again by Fergal. You know, the young lad's probably under pressure because it's getting towards that time of the year where the big hitters start to come back. The 2 O'Sheas are due back, Keegan's due back, so places up for grabs, and you know, he's putting his best foot forward.
It's 11 minutes since Roscommon have scored here in Castlebar. Stephen Cohn gets Diarmuid O'Connor moving. Donald Vaughan, Cillian O'Connor from 40 metres away. Good contact on it, and that's a great point. That's the score of the night so far from Cillian O'Connor, and his eye is very definitely in. 8-3, Mayo can do nothing wrong at the minute.
Yeah, again, they're happy to let Mayo shoot from a certain distance, and that's a dangerous game there.
Enda Smith. Roscommon could do with a couple of points before half-time. We've 5 minutes to the break, and there is the first of them. That's a beauty from Kieran Murtagh, the Roscommon captain. Well, it was precise, direct football from Roscommon. When they've done that, it's worked and they've scored.
Like, these guys are accurate. They just need to get the ball in their hands, and you know, if Roscommon took that approach a lot more often, but have more opportunities.
Roscommon have scored the last 2 points of the game. Here's Donald Vaughan. Andy Moran. Oh, brilliant feat from Andy Moran. And again, Moran pops the ball in to Donald Vaughan. And Roscommon have their defenders back in position, but they can't do anything about the shot from Donald Vaughan.
Direct running from Mayo is impressive. You know, they're strong, they're powerful runners. Roscommon are finding it hard to stop them. But again, there's little or no pressure on the kicker. They have their structure, but they're just not pushing out in time.
Roscommon need to start this second half very quickly indeed. Lee Keegan firing it up to Andy Moore, and again Roscommon look a bit open and they look very exposed indeed. Here is Evan Regan. Regan with Shawnee McDermott. Is this a penalty? I think it is. Evan Regan brought down by Shawnee McDermott.
Again, obviously they've identified this in the change room, that there was enough pressure on the Mayo kickers. They are pushing out, but what that means there is there's spacing behind you, and when you have the likes of Andy Moore and Evan Regan, you know, that's a dangerous game to play.
Here's the penalty. Cillian O'Connor against Colm Lavin, and O'Connor, oh, that is beautiful. That's perfectly placed from Cillian O'Connor, and Colm Lavin, even though he went the right way, he had no chance at all. Mayo on their way. Well, it's close to 10 minutes since Mayo last scored. Maybe that will change right now. Here's Lee Keegan. And Keegan, that is gorgeous. Well, it's his trademark. We didn't get to see enough of it last year for Mayo, but that is worth the admission alone. That's a great score. And there it is, it's over. Mayo with their second victory of the campaign. They've backed up the win over Kerry and Tralee. Mayo win by 119 to Roscommon's 14 points.
they're disappointed right now, but they will bounce back because youth has that quality. But we'll take a big lesson out of tonight. We're well off them in terms of our fitness and our conditioning, and we know that, and that's something we're working on all the time. We're looking at other games down the road, obviously, but hats off to Mayo tonight. I thought they were really good, very good for this time of the year, and moving very well.
We felt we would have started well also, but we just weren't reflecting that on the scoreboard. And I think Roscommon probably had 3 scores from 3 shots, and they were capitalising on our errors or our lack of proficiency up front. But thankfully, we got into that mode, and we kicked on well, and thankfully we finished out the half strong.
They did, and life in the league proving tough for Roscommon at the moment. But from a Mayo point of view, Rory, they seem to like their Saturday night football down there, because another big crowd in Castlebar, and the win, of course.
Yeah, great atmosphere, and to be fair, Mayo were completely dominant in that first half, Michael. I mean, the thing that stood out for me was just their power and strength and experience in that middle third. I mean, Roscommon really had no answer. And, it was 11-5. Yes, Roscommon had a few goal opportunities at the end, but really and truly, it was men against boys at times in that first half.
Ah, sure. Now, I want you all to listen carefully here, because Pat Spillane has positive things to say about Mayo, and you're not always accused of that down on Mayo, Pat.
No, after a couple of weeks ago when I said I was worried about some of the signs from their match against Man, and a lot of Mayo people got their knickers a bit in a twist. So tonight I'm not acting the Grim Reaper for Mayo football. I'm the angel of hope. And in the first half, their forward play was brilliant, Michael. And we just showed you 2 clips here. Quick interpassing, great angles of running, great composure on the ball. 8 points in a row they kicked in the first half, 7 different scorers, and that's the key in any good forward line, getting your key forward on the ball in a scoring position.
Yeah, I mean, Roscommon were filtering back, Michael, but no intensity to their play, and Conor O'Shea's able to kick a good score there. And at this stage of the game, Roscommon were very, very ragged. Spaces open up all over the pitch, and Lee Keegan's able to run 20-30 metres, and to be fair to them, he kicked over a great score there.
Yeah.
But in fairness, I mean, Mayo it was men against boys. Mayo dominated from start to finish, and Roscommon, I'm thinking, are relegation candidates, definite.
They did, but I suppose just to look at it from a different angle, just for a moment, Pat, Mayo deservedly won the game, obviously, but their man of the match was their goalkeeper, David Clark.
Yes, it's a fair point.
And that always means your goalkeeper is busy.
Yeah, I mean, he was I've highlighted in this clip David Clark as a brilliant goalie, but I've also highlighted the fact that Mayo last night went without a sweeper, which left a lot of space in front of David Clark. And this was Enda Smith running through one-on-one. It should have been finished. Great block by David Clark. Again, Enda Smith, who caused them a lot of trouble, running at the defence. And watch Conor O'Shea not following his man Niall McInerney, and a chance again. But David Clark, again the same thing. Look at the amount of space. There's no sweeper, there's no blanket back there, there's no one protecting that D. And again, just watch David Clark coming out, making himself big, narrowing the angle. He was absolutely superb last night. And yes, it's a fair point. There was 3 one-on-ones, and Donny Smith had another chance against a better team with better forwards. Could be punished.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But I'm praising Mayo.
Fair play to you. At least once in the year, anyway.
Sam Maguire is going home to Mayo. I'll sing it the next night.
Now, by the way, there was another match that we were supposed to bring you here on the programme tonight. That was the game between Tyrone and